Hello, and welcome to Weed and Grub.
You didn't bring Archie?
No, Archie doesn't come out when it's inclement weather.
He's not a rain guy.
He hates the rain.
Oh, I thought maybe he was at a clan meeting or something.
Oh,
Jesus.
because of what yeah.
In front of my family.
That was such a fucking stoner moment.
Yo, wait, before we get into that, I do want to say my family came to visit over the holidays.
Yep.
They were very excited to hang out with you, get to know you a bit. My brother listens to the podcast. He gave great thoughts for the new year that we'll get into in a little bit.
Definitely.
And you brought Archie with you.
Yes.
To be a part of the Glazer family gathering.
Yeah, he
was
a part of the holiday reunion.
And then my jaw dropped. I turned white. Everyone looked at you.
Well, I was just looking at him and, admiring his little beard and his little eyebrows. And I was like, doesn't he just look like kind of like a grand wizard? And you looked at me and you said, do you want to choose some other words? And I was like, well, and then it hit me and I was like, oh no. And then the only thing I scrambled to come up with something else. And I was like, well, how about like important magician?
Everyone's like, oh, okay.
That's what she's talking about. She's not talking.
She thinks her dog is an important magician.
Not a clan member. Not the leader of the fucking, yeah. Anyway, he's, I just think he's cool looking. And this is what I was trying to say.
More of a Gandalf, less of a grand wizard.
Definitely.
Understood.
Definitely. Yeah. Wizard vibes. I mean, magician vibes. Whatever. Sorry.
Man, that was so funny.
Oh, fuck.
I just wanted to start the new year and our new podcast doing that because it made me laugh so hard. So what up, Mary Jane?
How's it going, Mike?
Great. Welcome to Weed and Grub, everyone. The year is 2023. This is a podcast about comedy,
cannabis,
cooking,
culture,
calling shit out,
and a great hang all the time.
Yes, collective hangs.
That's what we're trying to do. We're just trying to have a lot of fun in this new year.
100%.
Yeah.
Archie is not a wet boy.
He's not a wet boy.
It's been raining here so much.
There's an atmospheric river in the sky, I learned, is one of the meteorological terms that's going on. And also there's, hey, producer Mark.
Hey, what's up, Mark?
We're all good.
Okay. Oh, he just needs to make me more beautiful on camera.
He needs to make you look better. Do you want to hit this?
Yeah, I'll hit that.
Shout out that. I love this Grav Labs glass joints. They're fucking great. The atmospheric river is a term for what's happening in the sky, which I've just learned. The other thing that I liked to learn about was that there's a storm parade off the coast of California.
So we're covered in, atmospheric rivers and storm parades?
Yeah, it's been...
That's the only downside of this podcast.
What's that? The coughing?
My coughing. I love doing this with you, but as one of the hosts...
Yeah. Sip that. I got a LaCroix over here.
Okay.
Get some hydration going too. Hang on a second. Okay. So, fucking talking about the weather is a super boring thing to do, but we kind of have to address it.
We have parades. That's
I know,
fun.
it's like record breaking, and there are hundreds of thousands of people without power up north, and there's been landslides and floods, and people have died, and it's crazy, and people all over the world are emailing and being like, are you guys okay? And, we're fine, but Archie's mad.
I was just going to ask, what does this have to do with Archie? The only one I care about.
Doesn't go outside. I mean, getting him outside, he poops and pees so fast and then turns around and just drags me right back to the house. And then he does this crazy little dance when we get inside to get the water off his fur, where he just rubs himself all over the carpet in my living room. It's very entertaining. But yeah, he doesn't get wet. If you were to say, Mike, what would you want to get bit by? I think I would want to get bit by a radioactive dog to get dog powers. Okay.
I would love a super sniffer. I would love to be able to poop with no wipe at any moment's notice.
Right.
I think the fact that a dog can do a no wipe poop at any time is a beautiful thing.
Well, listen, though, I trim Archie's butt hair.
You do?
Yes, I trim his butt hair and his pea dread because he's such a hairy little guy that there was one time when we were hiking and he went to poop and he couldn't get it out. And I realized that his like hair around his little butthole had all knitted together into kind of like this little mesh area. So he was like trying to poop
like a pasta strainer?
Fur. Yeah.
Oh,
and so
like a Play-Doh extractor?
Exactly. And it was a real bad situation.
It's a hell of a weakness.
Now I've put it on my list of things that I have to do with him monthly. He gets his heartworm medication and his flea and tick meds, and he gets his butthole hair trimmed and his pea dread trimmed.
I love this podcast, man.
I take care of him.
That's so sweet.
Yeah.
That's so sweet. I retract the radioactive dog bite.
Yeah, you don't want me
thesis.
trimming your butt hair. I mean, I would, I would
No,
do that
you
for
wouldn't.
you. Sure, if you asked.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you were nice about it, I would trim your butthole hair.
Well, I guess that you're picturing me as more dog-like and less as a human with dog powers.
Right.
Meaning that I think I, in my Spider-Man verse ways, would still be a man with dog power, so I can trim my own butt hair. You are picturing me turning into more of a werewolf on all fours where I can't reach my own hole.
Yeah, what I'm saying is that if you want to have a no white poop, you're going to have a different shaped butt. So you're going to look different because the
That's
reason
true.
the
cheeks are
it's the cheeks that get in the way.
You're so right.
Yeah, if you didn't have butt cheeks, you could just, stop it and drop it. Just like, any yellow lab on the street does.
So what are those plastic surgery things called that chicks get?
I think
On their butts,
I
where
don't-
it makes a juicy booty.
I think you're referring to the Brazilian butt lift.
Yeah, BBM. Right.
BBL.
Butt lift, yes.
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking about BMs for a BBL.
Oh, okay.
Because with a fat clappy cheek like that,
Gross.
those wipes have to be crazy.
I don't want to think about this anymore.
Never mind.
Let's move on.
Okay, well, this is the new format.
Gross.
So
Yeah, we should address that too. I loved sitting down with you. We sit down once a year. We talk to each other about like what we really feel like about usually we go to a festival and take a bunch of Molly and like air our grievances out, and that's one whole thing. But then we also have like a company meeting where we really talk like serious business stuff. Oh wait, my producer Mark says like macaroon cheeks. I don't know what that means.
macaroon cheeks, yeah, the shape of a macaron.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
If you squish the cheeks together, it looks like a macaron.
Wait, you got me back on the poop train? I was trying to get away from that. I'm surrounded by men who want me to talk about poop.
You were saying, thank you, Mark. I support you. I stand with Mark. Well, so yeah, we usually take drugs.
Yeah, we usually take drugs, air out our grievances, and then but I was also talking about the kind of boring company meeting. But what did happen that I thought was really cool, sort of inspired by the Doughboys.
Yes.
Was that we like reassessed how much fun we were actually having making this podcast, and we like got kind of stressed out at the end of last year.
Absolutely. My brother even called me and said, "Hey, man, I love listening to the pod, but it sounds like you're not having as much fun anymore."
Right.
And I really appreciated that phone call from him because you need people in your life that are straight shooters. And when it's family and friends, those are the best straight shooters you can have in your life.
And when people trust us to be buds in their ears, we want to make sure that we're having fun so they can hear us having fun. And like, of course, we get real on this podcast and we talk about serious stuff.
Yeah.
But we don't want to. We have to enjoy doing that as well.
Well, I think what happened for me was I felt disconnected from you.
Okay.
For a while, because when we sit like this and shoot the poo. Sorry, man, I'm gonna get off that theme, but
yeah.
But when we do like shoot the shit,
loose moose it.
When we loose moose it, I have a great time, and I loved all of our guests that we had last year.
Yeah.
But I was also like missing, like I felt like I was using a loose moose as a parachute against another format, when really what I love the most is when you and I get to sit down, talk about current events, have opinions,
comedy, cannabis, cooking, culture, all
calling
of
shit out. Yes, exactly. And it just felt bad to only be able to connect with you as like an emergency exit against a different format, when truly my most favorite thing is to sit here and hang with you, and smoke some weed and sip some sips and eat some eats
and do it weekly. I mean, I think another thing that happened was that we were both traveling so much last year. You were on the road doing comedy the whole year, and in Edinburgh for an entire month, and I was traveling around doing a bunch of stuff too. So we had to bank things, we had to like record back to back, and I think we were both just kind of like, we wore ourselves out. We probably wore Mark out too, although he was nice enough not to say anything about it, but all good.
Yeah. So where are we at now for this new year? If we're gonna have a heart to heart right now, and we're gonna have a heart to heart. I know, but like as an on pod smoke sesh heart to heart.
Okay.
I'm excited for this because we're gonna hit current events. We're gonna record weekly.
Yep.
And talk about things that are important to us and things that we want to celebrate that maybe you want to fuck with.
Yep.
And am I missing anything?
I think we're just gonna use it as a space like we intended initially when we launched this thing like however many years ago now, 300 and odd eps ago, to just fucking smoke and snack and hang
Yeah.
and talk about whatever we want to. And hopefully people will still want to rock with us because we will have guests. We're going to have some great guests this year, but we are really going to focus on more of us hanging out, doing bits. And
I would also say more of all of you listening, because the other thing that I missed deeply was interacting and having the time and space to talk about things that we were getting DM'd. And I feel like we got that awesome card from for Halloween with all those stickers from Tiffany.
Yeah.
And like I wasn't even able to like bring it in and shout it out. And it meant so much to get a Halloween card from you, Tiffany. And so I also am excited to be able to create space for more interaction with people who want to smoke and hang with us.
Yeah.
And I need that. I need the time to do that because that's what got me into comedy in the first place, is connecting with people in every way I can so that I feel like I'm a part of something bigger.
I love that.
Yeah. So please hit us up.
Yeah, hit us up. Send us questions. We love. I mean, our IG keeps popping up and down. We are working on it. We'll hopefully have it back by the time this drops.
I mean, our manager's on it. We're gonna get there.
Yeah. And we are just doing everything we can to create stuff that's gonna be fine on social media. That's another fucking thing that's crazy. When you're doing stuff with weed, it's like it's just a weird world out there to try and put clips up on social media. So I don't know. There's just a bunch of stuff in the hopper right now, and we're kind of working it out and working through it. But we're hoping that this is going to be like a refreshed version of our pod that we love so much.
Absolutely. And if you hate it or love it, let us know that too.
Yeah. Well, don't let us know if you hate it. I don't need to know if people hate it.
Oh, I love that kind of shit.
Really?
Yeah. Ooh, flagellate my back with negative
hearing
comments.
From the haters? Oh man, I remember when I read a comment on a YouTube video probably 10 years ago now. I made a YouTube video about how to make chocolate mushrooms when I was with High Times. And one person commented on the video, "What pound did they get this dog at?" And I was so brokenhearted. I think I truly considered like never stepping in front of a camera again.
Whoa.
And yeah, so I don't enjoy that. It's not a good feeling.
Hit me up at GlazerBooHooHoo. Leave Mary Jane alone.
Don't say mean things to me. I can't take it.
Look at how your hand is tucked in.
I know. It makes me nervous.
Your shoulders are up to your neck.
Oh.
Well, let's talk about something that won't make you so nervous.
Okay, what do you want to talk about?
The Speaker of the House.
Okay. That's a fun topic.
Isn't that fun? I just don't know anything about it except Katie Porter read a book and owned the Republicans, which I don't think is true. I don't care that she read a book.
Yeah.
I don't care that she read a book. I care that there are people in tents and there is college. I care about like real shit. I don't care about book trolling. So, but I also don't know anything about what the heck is going on.
Okay.
So I'm mad, but also I'm doing nothing to educate myself, which I think is a problem.
Well, it sounds like you know what's going on. I mean, you know that like Kevin McCarthy was historically denied the first vote and had to get 15 votes to be elected, right?
He needed 15 tries.
It's put to a vote every time, and everyone has to say who they're voting for. And you can either say the name of the person you're voting for, or you can just vote present. And so it took him 15 attempts to get everyone he needed to vote for him to get the majority to be elected Speaker of the House. And that was the first time that had happened since I think before the Civil War.
That's because he sucks.
Yeah,
is
he's
my
terrible.
guess.
Yeah. He's capitulated to every demand that the like far right little minority have held him to. So they're just going to be able to be super disruptive. But so what you're saying, like, but you don't know what's going. Like, what is it that you don't know?
I don't know what the
happening?
Speaker of the House is. I don't know why this dude's important, and I don't know why you get 15 tries at something that you're obviously nobody's fucking. Like, if I wanted to be prom king, I stay at senior year and keep flunking out every single year till I'm finally prom king at 47? Like, I mean, that's disgusting.
Well, the thing is, so it's a constitutional requirement that the Speaker of the House is elected before anything else can happen. So it takes as many fucking votes as it takes. That's why it was so crazy. It's written into the U.S. Constitution that the Speaker of the House has to be elected before Congress can like convene to do anything. And it's an incredibly important position because it's basically like the person who leads the House of Representatives to vote on anything. So when Pelosi was the Speaker of the House and there was a Democratic majority, she was so important because even though it was like a really slim majority, she was super effective in still getting everyone on board to pass legislation. Like that is the job of the Speaker of the House. They lead the majority of the House of Representatives to vote on and pass legislation.
So they're the chute. Like if you write a letter and you put it in a little thing and you throw it in the chute and it goes up the chute, she's the chute.
I don't know if that works for me as a metaphor, but if that works for you, I'm going to say yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And
Pelosi was just super effective. I know you're not a big fan of hers.
I don't like
she
her at
was
all.
incredibly wonderful at her job and highly effective. And now Kevin McCarthy is thought that he's not going to be. I mean, we don't know because he just
Why is there
started,
no one
but
else who's like going against him who people might want to fuck with so we can move on quickly and then
there
like
were,
actually start making
but they
things
couldn't get
do-
a majority.
So there was no majority. So all Republicans just hated each other, and they all were like,
It's just a dumpster fire. Like at one point, Matt fucking Gates nominated Trump for Speaker of the House in one of the votes because you don't actually need to be a member of Congress to be nominated as Speaker of the House.
Yeah,
which is so fucking crazy.
Mr. T, who cares?
It's just anyway. The whole thing was just gross and anxiety-inducing.
I think
for
Herschel
anyone
Walker
who
should have gotten it then. If you can vote for anyone, I would go majority Herschel Walker and move on.
The whole thing just makes my stomach hurt and makes me feel sick and anxious, honestly, because it's like just, you and I talk about this all the time when we go on our stoned walk and talks. Everything is so busted and crazy, and this is just, sort of emblematic of how everything is broken and crazy and not working. And so it was very frustrating and I think fucking alarming. That this like tiny group of very far right crazies like fucking Marge, whose name I don't even like to say, I like to call her old Tiny Eyes, Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Oh yeah.
Fucking, who believes in Jewish space lasers, can, hold this whole process up and be, incredibly fucking influential. It's super scary.
It is super scary.
Yeah.
We hadn't planned it for this ep,
Mm-hmm.
but I do think that ties into your end of the year Vox article
Oh,
quite cleanly because you took the opposite stance of what a lot of people might think, and you were like, here's why legalization of cannabis is actually possibly a bad thing. And a lot of it has to do with, I think, federal government not having their act together and being able to get anything done. And so even at like at the universal American scale, we can't pick a Speaker of the House and they all fucking suck and we need a new government and I'm more of a communist than ever. But
right.
but also on the issue to issue things like legalizing weed, homelessness, college debt, all of those, like nothing will ever get done. And when it does get done, it's going to be done poorly. So I wanted to kind of tee you up for that a bit, if that's okay.
Totally. I mean, I think that like another maybe controversial take with you is I think Biden's doing an incredible job. He's incredibly effective and largely, getting things done in a way that people certainly didn't expect. And it's actually pretty cool when you look at his record of accomplishments. That said, I don't think he would be effective as someone who would, legalize cannabis in a way that's going to do what any criminal justice reform or social equity or any activists who are really working for the cause are going to want to happen, because he's going to be friendly to big business. That's part of the problem with federal legalization in general, is that it would be quite likely dominated by corporations, which is we're certainly seeing it happen at the state level. And so the article, sorry, I don't want to get on too much of a soapbox, but basically the article was because there were pro-cannabis advocates voting or working against legalization initiatives in some states last year. And so my editor at Vox was like, can we examine that at a federal level? Like, are there pro-cannabis activists who are against federal legalization? And the answer is yes, because they worry that it will be dominated by, big tobacco or big alcohol or multinational corporations or multi-state organizations or any number of corporate interests. And so they're really working to make sure that doesn't happen. Some people are just saying, don't legalize it federally, just deschedule it and leave it to the states.
Which I think is a great idea.
Definitely one option. But anyway, yeah, it's just a really interesting, it's a very fucking complicated issue. And I was glad to talk to people.
I don't think it's complicated.
It's very complicated.
How? I think like
for all the things that I just said.
I know, but like at its base level, it's like nobody can agree on anything. So let the states decide and keep big business out of it so that small businesses have a chance to thrive before big businesses take in.
Sure. Easy to say, hard to do.
Right.
Simple, but not easy.
Simple, but not easy.
Mm-hmm.
Really well said.
And for anyone who wants to check that out, I think the link is in my bio at thisismaryjane_ is my Instagram. And I talked to some really interesting people for the article. Brian Box Brown, who's an incredible comic strip artist and activist who writes Legalization Nation, which you should definitely follow. He's so fascinating and informative. And Tyler McFadden, who is a board member for Bullpack, which is a really great organization working for cannabis legalization. And Shalene Title, who's the head of the Parabola Center, who is just an incredible
I learned
mind.
In that paragraph or within that area where you talk with Shalene that a lot of the it's like a storefront a lot of the like cannabis federal legalization things that I don't know what they're called, groups, I guess. Those groups are actually a storefront for like big tobacco who's pumping all of their money into that stuff.
Oh, so you're talking about, there's one particular, it's an advocacy group that is called the Coalition for Cannabis Education Policy and Regulation. And they are fronted by people from the cannabis industry who are very respected and knowledgeable and trusted by people in weed. And funded by big tobacco and alcohol. So it is really interesting because if you look a little deeper, like you're saying, it's, up front, looks great. And where's the money coming from?
Yeah.
So, and I spoke to them as well a while back. I did an interview with the people who work for that organization, and they're very transparent about, what they want to do as far as like, really working for like harm reduction and public health and social equity and criminal justice and all this kind of stuff. But then you're like, how can you work for harm reduction policies when you're funded by one of the most harmful interests that exists?
Yeah, it's like Andrew Tate, spent like being the person who's like keeping Greta Thunberg afloat.
Right. I don't understand that.
Somebody evil behind something wonderful.
Oh, okay. But how is Andrew Tate keeping Greta Thunberg afloat?
Oh, that was my strike 2 on trying to make metaphors and examples that you don't understand, but they look beautiful up here in my brain. Like I can see the imagery of them. And then I kind of like toss that ball in the air towards you, and you just don't even feel like swinging because it's not a good throw. It's like over your head, it's to the left, it's to the right.
I'm sorry.
So strike 2 on me, and I'm sorry about that.
That's why I love doing this podcast with you, because sometimes I'm just like, what?
Like a lot of our transitions from story to story are me saying something that makes sense to me, and then you being like, I don't know, man. And then we just move on. It's kind of beautiful.
Screen wipe.
Yeah.
Next topic.
Yeah, it is. It truly is.
Oh my God. Well, let's talk about some other stuff, like what we're watching. I know we wanted to.
I'm getting deep into
it.
I'm watching a lot of things. I'm seeing a lot of movies. I think that's my favorite thing about, honestly, October through February.
Yeah.
February, March, I would say.
Cozying
up and just like binging and devouring every kind of screen content I can. So what have you been into lately?
Well, first, I want to talk about that, but I want to know also, when we talk about this, what you're bringing to your couch, because I know you have a couch now.
I do.
To watch all of these things. What is your snack game? What are you assembling for your movie time?
Okay, sure. I really tried to start this year by leveling up, not only with my goals, but also like my home. We've talked about this place on my apartment so much. It's truly a bed and a desk.
Yes.
That's it.
It is spare.
It is spare and sparse. And you bought me a couch for Christmas, Mary Jane.
Merry Christmas, Mike.
Thank you so much. It is a beautiful couch.
It was an investment in my own happiness too.
Being able to come over and bring Archie over and just like fucking chill at my place.
Coming over and sitting on your couch and watching some fucking TV with you, it's been great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which okay, before we let's get into this is Couch Corner.
Okay.
Let's talk a one episode, one only Couch Corner, because when you were like, look at all these couches, this is like, I think what would fit your apartment. I'm just trying to help you like be a better human, so get a fucking couch. And the ones with buttons, there were some that had really nice buttons, but we went away from couches with buttons and into like one-piece cushions, and I thought that was a brilliant notion on your part.
When you say buttons, you mean like in the cushions, like the little depressions, kind of like this one has here?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. And okay, so that was actually a really interesting realization as we were shopping online, smoking a joint, looking at couches. We're like, those are going to be snack collectors.
Yep, a crumb catcher.
Yeah.
Oh man, there's nothing worse than sitting on a couch and you see like somebody else's chest hair and croissant crumbs and Cheeto dust just hooked in the button, like right around the button.
I can't remember where I heard it, but I just heard someone talking on a podcast about how she was sitting on a couch on a date, saw something in a depression, thought it was like a piece of Parmesan, picked it up and put it in her mouth, and it was a toenail. I can't remember where that was.
Ew, dude.
Oh, God. So disgusting. She was like, it was the most fucking humiliating thing I have ever done. And she's in front of a cute boy. So she's like having to she can't just spit it out and be like visibly grossed out, I think. Anyway.
Yep.
All right. No toenails, chest hair, Cheeto dust, crumb collectors.
No crumb collectors in a couch. So we got a one-piece cushion.
Yeah.
So that I could
it's a beaut.
Just like push anything on it onto the floor and then do a little sweeping. Done and done. It's a beautiful couch. And then well, we should talk more about part 2 of that when we get to our creamed corner.
Okay.
So let's do a little
A little who
Yeah.
eats couch farm.
Couch
Producer Mark
farm.
says.
That's a good point.
I do, dude. Who was it who just ate an edible off the floor mat? Someone was just telling me that they found. Oh, it was.
I know who it was.
I don't want to say who.
Yeah,
it was.
let's not say who it was.
But
yeah, they thought it was just some candy,
Yep.
some old candy in the car.
that was at your show at the Comedy Store.
It sure was.
Yeah, one of the comics was like, "Yo, he was parking his girlfriend's car, found an edible on the floor mat, and ate it." Fantastic. I'm with him. I would eat an edible off a floor mat, and I would eat couch farm. So we'll get to more when we get to our cream corner about our snack game. But
yeah, but that is like having a couch is I didn't know because I've
Yeah.
never had one. I've never treated myself to one. I've never felt
you've
like
never sat on one before.
I've never sat on one before. I'm a floor guy.
It's a wild new
But
concept.
you see how much I sit on the floor. You know I'm
Yeah.
a floor guy.
Right.
Like we'll be at a party and I'm on the floor.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah, everyone's like, "Do you want a chair?" And I'm like,
cross-legged on the floor.
cross-legged on the floor.
That's your move.
So anyway, but on that couch,
Mhm.
I'm currently watching a lot of WWE Royal Rumbles because the Royal Rumble is coming up at the end of this month, and I haven't been in the WWE game in years. You know, like my guy's Undertaker retired, Stone Cold Steve Austin retired.
Oh wow, old school.
The Rock, like
Yeah.
that was my era. You know what I
Okay.
mean? And so I kind of fell off after all of that, and now I'm getting right back into it.
Mhm.
It's better than ever. Oh, I'm loving wrestling again. It's
Great.
so much fun. It's so much shtick and campiness.
You just
I
showed
love
me
it.
a little bit, and I was delighted. I was like, "This is the most fun thing I've ever seen." The what were they called? The pancake guys. I don't know. I don't know what anyone's name is.
Yeah, so there's 3 of them. I'm blanking on their name now too. 'Cause
Triple
I'm,
threat.
Triple threat, maybe. I'm blanking on their name because I'm getting back into it, and so
Yeah.
I'm really not sure who anyone is right now. It's Big E, it's Kofi, and someone else, and I'm blanking on their name. But they used a stack of pancakes during a Royal Rumble, and it was fantastic.
It's just the best kind of theater. I was never so Hulk Hogan was my era, like in the 80s. Was so wrestling was
was
as it always
new.
has been, very huge and
Yeah.
like very prevalent. But I just never got into it, and I never really understood it. And just watching that little bit with you, I was like, oh, totally, I could see why so many people have wrestling podcasts and are like fucking crazy into this.
Yeah.
It's wild fun.
It's beautiful too because every sport or athletic thing, video game technology has caught up to real life and in some ways surpassed it.
Mhm.
So like all the camera angles that they're using now for sporting events are also being used in video games. So you can really get as immersive as you want while pretending to be somebody in the WWE playing a video game
Yeah.
or simply watching it, and it all feels like a part of the whole. And I think that's a really fun, exciting place to be if you're deeply excited about any kind of like athletic event, you know?
The immersiveness. It's
Yeah.
freaking awesome. Watching the World Cup and just seeing how like close they're really getting to all of those players, or watching any football clips that I see just pop up on social media. It's just amazing how they're covering games now. I love it. I'm not a sports person, but I do enjoy watching it when I'm like around it because of how they're, really broadcasting like the emotion of the sports and the events.
Is that why, or is it when a soccer player scores a goal and takes their shirt off and slides into the corner?
Come on.
Is it the thought-provoking battle of
No, it's the hot bods.
Come
Definitely the hot sexy bods.
crosses her legs?
Yeah,
Uh-huh. What's the hottest body in sports?
I don't know. I would have to say probably I don't know. I'm blanking.
Male body. What's the hottest male body in sports?
I blanking.
Swimmer, basketball, baseball, hockey, football, basketball.
Oh, you mean just I thought you were wanting me to name an actual person.
Not an athlete, like a type. Like a
for
type.
me, soccer, definitely. Football, not American football, but yeah, soccer or swimmer. I like long kind of sinewy bodies to look at because they're just so fascinating.
Yeah.
They're like dancers' bodies, like the big muscles aren't so exciting for me, but
But the way Michael Phelps is shaped like a flying squirrel.
those muscles that just don't exist on normal humans. Like every single muscle has a muscle.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Cool.
Yeah.
For females, same.
Soccer, female rowers fascinate me. They're like how powerful their whole body has to be in order to just move that way with, female rowers and swimmers for sure. Gymnasts are crazy because they're all like so tiny and compact, they're weird little bodies. Sorry.
I also think they're given like hormone suppression.
They were. Yeah.
They were,
back in the
yeah.
day. There were like plenty of like Bulgarian and Russian and maybe American gymnasts who were given things to stop them from growing. How fucked up is that?
Every interview. Do you remember the interview? Well, I don't even want to say their name because they're still American heroes. They still made it to the Olympics.
Yeah.
But like those helium voices, it's like, we're not going to do anything about that. Like, okay,
Right.
if you're going to
Arrested.
ban steroids from places like baseball or anywhere else, but you're going to allow these women to sound like little girls for the rest of their lives,
That's wild.
to like, where's the line, dog?
Whoa, it's crazy.
Yeah.
But I'm not watching sports. I'm watching things like Kaleidoscope.
Oh yeah.
I'm enjoying that. We've been watching that together.
It's awesome.
on your couch.
Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm also watching fucking, oh my God, it's based on a terrible book and I hate everything about it except the fact that Toni Collette is in it.
Curious George.
It's called Pieces of Her.
Pieces of Her.
Yeah.
I watched the whole thing.
Is it good? Does it end?
Toni Collette's great.
Yeah, I mean, you could literally watch her fucking do anything. She would have a home improvement show and I would tune in.
Yeah, absolutely.
she's
But
so
the
fantastic.
show is a piece of shit, and the story, I don't care about it. I could watch her all day.
Yeah, all fucking
But
day.
it's called Pieces of Her.
Pieces of Her.
And if you like it, you're wrong. And if you like the book, maybe it's better because it seems that's always the case.
No, I don't think with this one. But fucking Kaleidoscope, talk about some fantastic actors in that show. I was just thinking, what do you think about in that show? I feel like the casting directors looked at the script and they were like, we just want types for all of these roles. It feels like every actor in that show, and they're all fantastic actors in their own right, but it feels like someone said like, okay, we want a Natasha Lyonne type.
Yes.
We want like a Jesse Eisenberg type. And then they cast these other very fantastic actors who are doing a wonderful job, but none of them are like super famous.
I agree. I think it's interesting that like because Eisenberg is at the top, he's top down type.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Instead of like nervous, Jewy, fast talking pushover guy.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But because he's the A-list of that type, it's like think Jesse Eisenberg when we're casting this.
Right.
And in the case of Kaleidoscope, the person who absolutely reminds me of Jesse Eisenberg, he's nervous. He's a bit of a dope. He has messy hair. It
Mhm.
seems like you could beat him up with one punch.
Yeah.
You know
He's
what I mean?
like fine featured.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I agree with you because like it's not Ray Liotta, but we need a Ray Liotta for this
Type.
role.
So they got Rufus Sewell, who's fucking fantastic, and I love him so much. But
100%.
it's that same like eye intensity that Ray Liotta has. R.I.P. Ray Liotta, by the way. He died last year, I think.
No, he didn't.
Yeah.
No, he did not.
Ray Liotta died.
No.
I'm so sorry to tell you.
I swear to God.
Yes, Mark says yes.
Wait, really?
Yeah, he did last year, I think. Sucks. Way too young.
Hey Siri, how did Ray Liotta die? Really?
Yeah, I know. I'm so sorry to break that to you on the podcast, but he did way too young last year.
Oh my God. He died of suspicious circumstances.
No.
That's what it says.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you serious? Or are you fucking with me?
No,
right
I'm not
now?
joking about that. It says, as of now, Ray Liotta died under suspicious circumstances.
Whoa. I don't like to
I don't
want to
go down that rabbit hole,
Let's not.
but holy cow.
Ooh, sorry about that.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, that's its own kaleidoscope.
Well, all right. That's a good screen wipe.
I do like that show. If anybody is not familiar with it, you can watch all 8 episodes in any order.
Yes.
And the story will unfold in different ways based on the choose your own adventure way you watch the episodes.
And I think I was just reading a Vulture article about it. Like, if you want to know what order to watch it in, they published a whole, like, here are your different options. And they were like, there's one episode that everyone says you should watch last, but if you follow that, just any order and then that one last, I think there are like 4,000 iterations that you watch
That's so
it.
cool.
It's so fun.
And I love a
it.
heist.
Love a fucking heist.
Love a heist. I think that's my top
Yeah.
movie genre. It's not action. It's not adventure. It's heist.
Yep. Vaults. Love
It's
a vault.
vaults.
Love
Fuck
unlocking things.
Ooh, I want to see someone put their ear next to a dial.
Oh, yeah. Then hear that tumbler click.
Have you
Very
ever seen The
satisfying.
Sting?
Maybe. I don't know.
Let's watch that. I know it's a
Okay.
classic heist. It's Paul Newman and Robert Redford.
Okay.
I've never seen it, but it's one of those you've never seen The Sting kind of
Oh, okay.
things.
Got it.
But I think that's a like classic heist film.
Yes. I would love to watch that with you. I also did we talk about Avatar on here?
No,
we
we
talked
hadn't
about
seen
it?
it yet.
It was so funny when we went to see Avatar: The Way of Water.
The way it sucked.
Well, the way that we chose not to eat mushrooms 20 minutes into it because we were like, oh no, that's not going to work for us at all. So we had smoked a joint on the way to our normal things. We smoke a joint, walk to the Grove, or eat an edible. As we sit down, you're kind of set. And then we were like, okay, and we're going to add the layer of mushrooms when we get to our seats.
Yes.
And then, yeah, we just were like, we looked at each other pretty early on. We were like, we're not doing that.
I remember,
no fucking way.
I remember the details of it because we were watching the first half hour of it, and I was bored out of my tick.
Ugh.
And then the scene of pro-military propaganda came on, and then there was this huge gunfight where everyone's like, the military rules, this is what we need more of, God bless America. And I leaned over to you and I'm like, should we eat those edibles? And you were like, nah,
mushrooms.
Should we eat those mushrooms? And you were like, nah, this is like a war thing, I don't think I want that in my life.
I didn't no. And then there was a very funny writer for Rolling Stone, I think his name is Miles, I'm not sure if he pronounces it Clay or Clee, but he ate mushrooms and did the service of going and telling us what it was like. And it was an absolute nightmare experience.
I bet.
It's a very funny article.
Yeah.
But I thought it was funny when we were walking in and we were stoned and I was like, oh, I really want a cold beer. I'm going to like nurse a cold beer through this. And we were there's a bar at the AMC Grove where you can get beer before you go in. And there was a big TV broadcasting, what is it called? Tag?
The World Tag Championships
I'd never
on
seen
ESPN.
It. So fucking fascinating. I was watching and I was like, maybe we should just stay here and watch this.
It's parkour tag.
It looked incredible.
Yeah.
I wanted to have a beer and watch that instead of Way of Water. I should have done that. It would have been way better.
Should have gotten hammered at the movie theater bar watching tag.
I didn't even want to get hammered, but yes.
That's how bad Avatar 2 is.
It was real. I mean, if you enjoyed it, I'm glad
You're
you had
dumb,
fun.
man. You're fucking dumb. It's the same way I feel about the Joker. If you like the Joker or you liked Avatar 2, nah, give me a break.
I really did. I was having a conversation with my friend Mike Daisy, and he was like, they really, like every single fucking alien on that fucking planet is skinny. They're all thin. All of them. There's not one stocky one. And it's true. I couldn't tell them apart. They all look exactly alike. I didn't know which one was Kate Winslet.
Well, careful, Mary Jane. That's another Grand Wizard
area
for you to go because they all looked like...
They're all just thin and they just look...
What else did Mike Daisy say? He said something about like indigenous appropriation or something like that?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go follow him on Twitter and read his thoughts from his mouth because I can't... what's the word? Condense them.
Yeah.
Translate
Good. Strike
them.
one for you. Yes.
Fuck. Well, is now a good time to talk about Quinn?
Yeah, this is actually
Perfect.
a great time to talk about Quinn.
Thank you to Quinn for hooking us up with all of these wonderful boxes of cookies and flavors. They're an alt cannabinoid brand. They offer a bunch of different products on their website. You can go to Quinn. They're at myquinn.com.
Yes, they are.
Which is myqwin.com. You can use our code Weed and Grub. I'm not sure exactly what the deals are that they have going on right now.
I think it's 30% off if you use our code.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's better than like I always appreciate a 10% because that like takes away the tax and anything I can do to screw over the government is exactly what I want. But when Quinn goes the extra mile and is like, we're also gonna like, lose a little bit of cash because we believe in our product, so you should try it. That I respect. That's
I love
cool.
a 30% off. You're so right.
30% off is nice.
So they've got all cannabis offerings that use cannabinoids like Delta 9, Delta 8, HHC, and all of their products are Farm Bill compliant. So you can order it in all 50 states.
And it's going to be a long time before weed is federally legal.
Oh man, it's a slow process.
And so if you are
Kevin McCarthy's not going to get anything done.
He couldn't get his vote done. How the fuck
Not
do you
like
think
he's
going
in
to
charge of legalization, but yeah.
Yeah.
Just moving slowly.
Besides like buying some, either selling or buying some weed on the legacy market, if you're looking for something that is alternative, definitely go with myquinn.com because you can get it everywhere. Any of the 50 states.
Look at these flavors. Coconut dragon fruit, peanut butter marshmallow, orange pistachio, toffee Oreo. Hell yes.
I love a dragon fruit.
I know. It's like, that's such a cool combo.
Yeah, coconut dragon fruit?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
myquinn.com.
Myquinn.com.
Nice.
30% off. Speaking of, if we're going to plug things, can we do some dates?
Yes.
Okay, let's do some dates, please.
Okay.
Where do you want to start? February backwards or now to then?
Oh my God, my brain. February backwards. Well, that's because the only thing that I'm participating in, and then you have stuff to talk about. So February 5th, we are at SF Sketchfest. Come check us out. We've got a Weed and Grub live with incredible guests, and it's at 4 p.m. The ticket link is in both of our bios. We'll, shoot it out when our IG is up, and we'll put it in the show notes as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be really fun. We've got a bunch of different segments. We've got some fun games. We're going to do some fun bits. I have a costume that I'm really excited to break out.
We sat on my couch, had a business meeting about Sketchfest.
So fun.
Yeah. Giveaways, prizes, an awesome lineup.
Yeah.
Come on, San
It's
Fran.
going to be a great fucking time. So come out 4 p.m. February 5th, San Francisco. I think Reggie's going to come out. He said, I mean, not to put you on blast, Reggie, but you did say it on Instagram.
Yeah,
so I'm
you did.
holding you to it here.
Yep.
People are going to come through. It's going to be a great time. I'm really excited about our guests too. So
Yeah.
check it out.
And then if you go backwards from that, on January 25th, Glazer's After Party is at the Comedy Store. The one in November sold out. The New Year's Eve one sold out. This one should be no different.
Great time.
A lot of people already confirmed for the lineup. It's just a little too early to release it.
Ooh, sexy.
But that's January 25th. And then working backwards from... No, in between that.
Oh.
Shit, in between the 25th and Sketchfest, I'm headlining in Hawaii. I don't have more info. They said, do you want to do this? I said yes. They said, great.
Killer.
There we go. That's my favorite way to do business.
What I love is that you actually you fly into Sketchfest from Hawaii.
Yeah.
That's so fucking dope.
Pretty cool.
That's killer.
So yeah, that does feel cool. It feels cool to
very
be able to
cool.
do stand up and then be like, hey, I know you want to fly me back to LA, but actually, can you drop me in SF for another show?
I gotta go to a live show. It's so great. Also, you're notching all the states. Like that's a new one for you, right?
Yep.
Hawaii.
Yeah, Hawaii, and also it goes into our news story a bit. But the people that we were with on New Year's Eve, we had a big dream swirl about going to Hawaii. So I feel like whatever it was that mixed drugs, life, and new beginnings into the air brought Hawaii to me to go perform at.
Manifesting. That's awesome. Well, let's get into all of that and our news story about ayahuasca after the break.
Okay. We'll be right back.
You know when you're seshing with a friend and you get that familiar feeling?
You mean that feeling when all is right in the world?
Well, that and also cottonmouth.
Oh, yeah. When your mouth feels dry as a desert and you can't drink enough water.
Yep. Well, Xylodent is here to help.
Xylodent helps soothe your cottonmouth and it freshens your breath. Xylodent is all natural and sugar-free.
Xylodent tablets are vegan, kosher, and made from non-GMO xylitol. They're easy to chew and come in a ton of tasty flavors like peppermint, pomegranate raspberry, and cinnamon.
I love how long-lasting that flavor was.
The relief from my cottonmouth was lightning quick. Try it yourself. Go to xylodent.co and order yours now with free shipping. Get 25% off your purchase with code WeedandGrub25.
That's Xylodent, XYLI Dent, like dentist. Xylodent.co.
Go to xylodent.co and use code WeedandGrub25 for 25% off.
Say goodbye to cottonmouth and hello to fresh breath with Xylodent.
Goodbye, cottonmouth. And we're back.
Yeah.
That's fun.
I thank God for it.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to do. Wait, let's do it now that because this is our first We'll Be Right Back.
Yeah.
Can we do it like Mariska and Maloney when you come back from commercial on SVU and we kind of give a broad overview as if we're walking down a hall to catch everyone up if they just joined us midway through?
I can try.
Okay.
You're going to have to tee me up.
So I hear you have a news story about ayahuasca.
Oh, I do. It's a really good one.
There we go.
Great.
What's the Grub Gazette this week?
The Grub Gazette. And the Grub Gazette is fucking, sticking around as one of our segments with our new format. We're always going to bring you a news story. And this week it is that Prince Harry has just come out with his memoir, Spare, which everyone is all abuzz about because he's putting everyone on blast and saying a whole bunch of crazy stuff about the royal family and his experience. And he talked to Anderson Cooper about Spare, and he was saying that he did ayahuasca. He used psychedelics to cope with his grief after losing his mother. So it's been reported in a bunch of places. I just pulled up the story on Forbes. It says that he has used psychedelics, including ayahuasca and psilocybin, to treat mental health difficulties brought on by the grief of losing his mother when he was 12. And he said to Anderson Cooper, "I would never recommend people to do this recreationally, but doing it with the right people, if you are suffering from a huge amount of loss, grief, or trauma, then these things have a way of working as a medicine." And the reception has been pretty interesting. A lot of people are, obviously responding to it like, oh, fucking just using drugs is terrible and all that kind of stuff. But a lot of people
that's old hack bullshit.
Absolutely. And a lot of people are hearing it for the first time from someone who's, like possibly the highest profile person ever to actually go on the record and admit that he's used this medicinally. And I was just thinking about like in our sort of swirl with New Year's when we were hanging out with our friends and we candy flipped.
I'd never done it before.
Right.
It's acid and Molly mixed.
Yep.
I'd never done it. I trusted the person who said we should try it.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I did. I'm so glad I said yes.
I am too. I had a really beautiful New Year's Eve, and a part of it was for me where I had a solid probably 2 hours where I felt no pain.
Wow.
For the first time in a very long time. And I mean no pain like on a physical level, also emotionally, spiritually, I just was in, and I wasn't feeling euphoric. I was just feeling perfectly at peace in a way that I hadn't in such a long time. And so I was thinking about how that use of those substances together, because we took them to go dance ourselves clean and celebrate New Year's, which is quote unquote recreationally, but that it was medicinally beneficial for me, that it was healing. And that I think those two things, for a very long time, I used psychedelics to cope with grief without really realizing it. Like I've talked about when I took that massive dose of mushrooms at Burning Man,
Right.
to sort of like process the loss of my friend Nicole.
But was that more of a mask than a release of doves?
What do you mean?
Like, was that more of like suppression and masking and just kind of moving things away from being front and center for you at that time?
No. It was deeply about processing.
It was. Okay.
Yeah, very intentionally. Like I took a big dose of mushrooms that night with friends. We ran around and we saw a bunch of stuff and we had a great time. And then as they were going to bed, I ate like a big handful and kind of walked into the desert. And, my intention was to just process, and that was how I did. And I think nowadays I might do it a little differently with like all the setting and the intentionality of it, for sure. But it really did help me. I wrote an essay about it, and it was a really interesting thing that I felt like I did sort of peered beyond the veil, for lack of a better term. And, I just saw that we're connected to things that are beyond, and when people die, we are all still connected. And it just helped me feel these things and process some of the grief and the trauma of losing my friend. And then this time with this candy flip, my sister died a year and a half ago, and I've been in pretty consistent deep grief since then, like you are. And I think it's a lifetime of that, just missing your person. And not being in pain for those couple of hours and dancing. And I wasn't even dancing. I was just kind of vibing. I was just like holding my heart and kind of swaying to this music in this club, surrounded by people who were all having a wonderful time. And you were there and our friends were there. And I, at the time, wasn't thinking how medicinal and how therapeutic it was, but it truly fucking was.
That's so beautiful. Fucking beautiful.
It was beautiful.
Could I ask you a couple questions about it?
Sure.
And you say no if you don't want to answer it.
Okay. I'll just punch you.
Yeah, that's one way to say no. She's healed, folks.
I'm fine.
Yeah, she smokes weed and hits people. It's a very 0.1% of the population who gets high.
Listen, a lot of hippies are very fucking angry people. That's why they smoke weed. The misconception is that hippies are like fucking peaceniks. No, they're pissed off and they need the weed to help them to not punch people.
Well, I hope I don't get punched.
You're not gonna get punched.
Do you remember leading up to that point of complete I guess freedom? That's the only way I'll describe it, because I wasn't feeling it, so I'll use the word freedom. Were you deep in a hole and feeling a lot of grief and processing a lot of things, and then because of the mix of the Molly and the LSD, you were digging deeper inside, and then all of a sudden you like something untangled? Like, what does that look like to get to that place?
It's so interesting. Yeah, I don't even know if I'm sorry, I don't know if it is interesting, but I'll try and answer it in a short enough answer to hopefully keep it a little bit interesting. Is that when you're carrying a really heavy load of grief, you kind of go numb to some degree to be able to just walk around in the world. So like, obviously I have my days where I do like let it out and I weep and I have all of that kind of experience. But a lot of like deep grief just looks like numbness. And that, it's like when your muscles get so tense that you can't even feel them anymore. And then you have a massage, and after the massage, you actually feel the pain.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've had that experience as an athlete.
Uh-huh.
So it's sort of like that. It's like when I let go of the numbness enough to feel the pain, it's a shock to the system, and it's difficult to do in public. So you just stay numb when you're around people. That was the first time where I was around people that I let go of the numbness and I wasn't in pain. Wow. If that makes sense.
It is. It sounds like you faced it, but also yes, it makes sense. I'm not sure I can put it into words. I think because my second question is, were you aware of it in the middle of it?
Yes.
That's even
deeply
cooler.
Aware. Yeah,
that's so fucking cool.
It was great because every time I closed my eyes, the sort of like visual aspect of what was happening with the LSD, with the sort of like the bliss of the MDMA, the Molly, I just saw these sort of beautiful little like rainbow stars every time I blinked. And it was like a very low level visual that just made me feel like, I don't know, just like seeing rainbows when you close your eyes is like, obviously, great.
It's a great thing.
It's a great thing. And I associate rainbows with, obviously the bridge and crossing over and all that sort of stuff. So I had like a lot of deep thoughts about it as well. But in the moment, I just felt truly, I was free from pain for a solid chunk of the night, and
that's
it felt awesome.
Fucking great, Mary Jane.
It was great.
Very last question.
Mm-hmm.
Would you want a candy flip with Prince Harry?
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah,
it'd be real fun.
Anytime.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Come on through.
He seems like a cool guy. I mean, everything I'm reading, he's gone crazy with this memoir. He has said some wild stuff. And I just read an essay by Patty Davis, who is Ronald Reagan's daughter. And Patty Davis had written a book that sort of put her family on blast. And she just wrote an essay saying to Prince Harry, like, maybe don't do that. Because my experience with it wasn't great. But he's living his fucking truth, or whatever you want to say about
I think
it, you know?
so. I mean, like, and both of us, you moved out from a very early age.
Yeah.
I moved to the other side of the country just to get a little bit of autonomy and freedom. So,
Mhm.
like, what are we talking about? Prince Harry just like dipped out of all of it and came over here. And a lot of people I know were saying, like, yeah, well, he's got a Netflix deal and he, lives in a mansion in the sky with a hot wife and,
All those things.
and he's a whipped little bitch and all those things. But
Oh.
like, yeah, like a big theory is that she brainwashed him
Whoa.
into.
God, the fucking misogyny of this world is just like galling, always galling.
Maybe
to
you should
me.
do a series called that on the Patreon. when we-
Misogyny is galling.
Yeah.
We're gonna fire our Patreon back up so I can just rant about feminism. Great, people will definitely tune in. I mean, truly, I'm glad we did hang on to our Patreon because I feel like we might fire it up again this year with some just like interesting, fun side projects.
Yeah.
I'm inspired by Kara Clank and Lisa Traeger over at That's Messed Up because they just launched their Patreon where they're like, it's whatever we want. And I was
Cool.
like, great. So maybe we could do that as well.
Yeah.
And I'll have a little silo of me talking about misogyny and feminism. Great.
I think so. Well, because that is what I hear a lot of about Prince Harry. And I try and put myself in his shoes as somebody who has his own fucking problems with things and people. And it sounds to me like he just moved from St. Louis to LA like me. And instead he was
Yeah.
like, I am just like out of here and moving over here and
Yeah.
starting my own deal.
He was looking for a way out. He
Yeah.
didn't get fucking brainwashed. He found the person who offered him an escape, and she's obviously perfect for it. And it seems like they're very fucking in love and happy despite all of the insanity that they've been through. So
Come
you
dance
know,
with us.
Come dance yourselves clean when Candy Flip with us. Yeah, it'd be great.
That'd be awesome. It's that's like a dream guest for me now.
Prince Harry?
Let's have Prince Harry on.
Great.
Fucking yeah.
We'll
man.
add it to the list.
Absolutely.
I just listened to the Dudes on Smart List interview Tom York and Johnny Greenwood from Radiohead.
Yeah.
And that was their dream guest. And they got so nervous that Jason Bateman basically couldn't talk. And Will Arnett was making fun of him. And it was so fun. And I was like, this is what happens though when you get a podcast and you get your fucking dream guest. Like we've had dream guests.
Yeah.
We had Roxanne Gay. We had Trixie Mattel. We've had some incredible fucking dream guests. So why wouldn't we be able to reach out to Prince Harry someday?
I'll hit him up.
Great.
I'll tag him.
Yeah.
Hey, come Candy Flip
feel like
at
you-
Prince Harry.
I feel like you guys would hit it off.
I
You
think
both
we
have
would.
beards.
You're not allowed on the pod that day. So, first question: you both have beards,
So
eh?
what's it like to have a beard?
Oh Jesus!
How does that feel? Did your wife like to kiss it? When it gets too long, does she make you trim it? What's going on with that?
And we're all on drugs,
It's
and we're
good.
just like all of us are just like, oh
Wow, the
my
most
god.
inane conversation. They just had Prince Harry on their podcast and they talked about beards. Wow. Okay, maybe not. Oh my God. Well, that's our Grub Gazette.
Yeah, and you want to roll right into our creamed corner
Absolutely.
because it ties into couches, and we kind of foreshadowed that in the first half.
I do.
Man, oh man!
Big day.
Actually, I have it in my pocket. If you're watching the YouTube.
Yo, pull it out. It was a big day yesterday. It's so goofy. Yes. Look at that sweet, sweet Costco.
We are Costco Gold members. We have a business Costco Gold membership.
No, we have a gold. We didn't get the business one. We went with the gold and we might upgrade to the business one. I just don't want, like, anyone who actually knows Costco knows that a gold member isn't a business account.
This isn't business?
Do you want to upgrade?
This is a weed and grub extravaganza.
Yeah. Okay. We should, next time
we
we go,
tried
we'll
hot
upgrade.
dogs for the podcast. If
Yeah,
that's not a
it's true.
business expense, I don't know what is. I'm trying to write off hot dogs this year, Mary Jane. God damn.
All right. We'll get the executive level membership next time we go.
Okay,
Fuck
good.
Yes.
I need to write off hot dogs.
Let's do it. That was the most fucking fun afternoon. It was wild. If I hadn't hotboxed my car in that parking lot, I would have had a panic attack and had to leave.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
did actually walk past a guy and I heard him say to his girlfriend, he was like, I think we need to get out of here.
Oh, yeah, I bet they were not high. That was the problem.
I think they weren't high
Yeah.
and they weren't able to just deal with the chaos of
It-
a Costco.
It was piranhas on a cow.
Holy shit. On a fucking Sunday afternoon in Burbank, when those rotisserie chickens like got put out, we both stopped to look like we were
I
watching.
thought there was a celebrity shopping at Costco that everyone was surrounding to take their picture.
It was just the rotisserie chickens were coming out. And then the fucking frenzy. These people were so excited. And I watched a dude, very well dressed, wearing like super fucking cool sneakers and everything. And he pushed his girlfriend. And he was like, go get us a chicken. And he like made his...
He threw her in front of the bullet?
He threw his cute girlfriend into the fucking pack of hyenas so that she could grab a chicken. It was the madness. So entertaining to watch.
It was crazy.
It was wild.
I was like, what is that alarm? There's a rotisserie chicken alarm letting you know that they're on their way out.
Is that what that was?
Yeah.
That was the chicken alarm.
That was the chicken alarm.
Okay.
And then, yeah, like
my
what
God.
is that thing where a sound draws everyone in to it?
A beacon?
Like
siren?
a beacon.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Uh-huh.
It was a fucking chicken beacon. Everyone just went glossy-eyed and followed their hearts or followed their fucking
I guess
brains.
a siren too, because sirens were the mythological creatures who drew sailors to their deaths by singing on the rocks, right? And that's what and then also a siren is also that sound of the,
So it's a chicken siren.
a chicken siren.
Yes.
Yes.
And it works.
It
fucking
fucking it was
works.
crazy.
Yeah.
I had a very good time shopping with you while you were like talking to the electronics guy. David.
Shout out David.
Yeah. I had a really good time looking at the jewelry at Costco. Listen, if you need some diamonds, you might want to go check out the jewelry at Costco.
Is it real?
Yeah.
Really?
Very fancy.
I had no idea. You
Yeah.
can really get everything there, huh?
You
Plan
could
B, diamond earrings, and a 50-inch LG TV.
Congratulations on your new TV.
Thank you very much. It's fucking awesome.
It's so
Watching
fucking
the
good.
Royal Rumble on a nice TV.
Ah.
I've like, who knew, man?
It's fucking everything. And I had a collagen shot. I got myself some new Tupperware and very excited about this. I felt very grown up, not only getting a Costco membership, but also getting water delivery service. I ordered through my Costco membership. I'm going to start getting Sparklet's water delivery because it was such a good price. And I'm really excited to have filtered water at my house. And it felt like a very nice treat for me. So we'll see how that goes.
That's awesome.
Yeah. You know, come over to my house and drink some water. I got you.
Cool. Come over to my place and sit on a couch.
Dope.
We're building
great.
an office, basically. A couch and a water cooler.
Oh my God. It's amazing. Look
Both of our apartments are just offices.
I mean, every artist knows what that looks like. Every
so
writer,
true.
every fucking person who like makes shit for a living knows exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Your home that's what it is.
And into the food at Costco, because
Oh.
was it a first for you?
No, the hot dog wasn't a first. The rest was.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was a first for me. I'd never had the Costco hot dog before. $1.50 for a hot dog, all beef patty. You can add ketchup, mustard, and relish, and a 20-ounce soda for $1.50.
Crazy. I remember when the dude was asked, the Costco, like head of Costco or whatever, said he wasn't going to raise the price because everyone was like, it's crazy. How does he offer a hot dog and soda for $1.50? And he said he wasn't going to do it. And everyone was like, he's a hero for the people because but it truly is. It feels like when we ate that hot dog, I was like, he is a fucking hero.
It was delicious.
It's delicious.
I feel required to get one every time I go there because it was so good.
It's an absolute must.
And the dog hangs out the bun, which is the best way to go.
Big old long dog.
Big old long dog.
Love a long dog.
Dog.
Dong, did you say?
No, I meant to say dog.
Great. That long dong was delicious. We also got pizza, which, listen, I didn't know what to expect, but certainly not that.
It fucking sucks.
Whoa.
The Costco pizza is disgusting.
I was so excited to try it after you showed me the pizza video.
Yeah, there's that video of the sauce where a robot arm swirls the sauce in concentric circles all the way to the middle of the crust.
Yes.
Very pleasing, very satisfying video.
Like a turntable, like a record
Yeah.
spinning. It's fucking cool as shit.
Yeah. And then the pizza is a bust.
I had to blot that. Cafeteria pizza says, yeah, exactly. It's producer Mark is right. It was like the greasiest. I blotted it with like 3 or 4 napkins just to make it edible. And then it was the chewiest, gummiest dough and like the most tasteless cheese. It was just, ugh.
It tasted like it's not Monsanto anymore. It tastes like chemically engineered pizza.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like it is just like the dough isn't real dough, the cheese isn't real cheese, the sauce
Totally.
isn't real
It
sauce.
was the most processed.
Processed fucking it's for $1.99. Yo, and for $9.95 for an entire pizza. If I have to feed my family and it's pizza
Definitely.
night, 100%.
Of
So
course.
fun. But I also don't know that I want to give that to my kids or
Right.
myself because it is bad,
Mhm.
bad.
but the chicken bake made up for it.
Holy fuck.
I didn't know what that was.
It's the best version of a Hot Pocket I could ever dream of.
It was I would love to have it in small bite form definitely again.
I think that was a great idea.
As it came, it was like a foot long, and it's chicken, bacon, Caesar dressing,
Cheese.
and cheese in a
Like a Hot Pocket kind of scenario.
yeah. I got a bake, right?
bake,
That's
yeah.
the bake part. Delicious. Way too big.
Another long dong.
Yeah, it was big old fat juicy thing.
I like your idea of getting them in like a popcorn tub, little bites.
Yeah.
Like pretzel bites, but chicken bake bites.
Chicken bake bites would be delish.
That would be great. And then you could buy them in Costco in bulk. You could buy like 100 of them, throw them in the air fryer at like 10 at a clip.
I feel
That'd
like
be
we
real
could make
nice.
them. I feel like we could experiment with like, even just if you get those like, those Pillsbury rolls that, the pre-made.
The crescent rolls and stuff?
Yeah. You could just probably like, use those, pop all of your stuff in. Like you make a pig in a blanket with a hot dog and those rolls are fucking one of my favorite little party snacks. We could do homemade chicken bakes in your air fryer.
Let's do it for like the Super Bowl or
Oh
something.
shit, yeah. I want to watch that Super Bowl on your TV.
Chicken bake bites.
Delicious.
One of the best things I've ever had.
Yeah, that's definitely our cream corner, was that sweet chicken bake and that beautiful juicy long dog.
Yeah. And I guess the other cream corner was you played a real fun trick on me. It
I
was a
did?
fun game
Oh.
where you were like, here's the soda. And I tasted it and I was like, what is this? And you were like, it's witch's brew.
It's a witch's brew, or what does she call it? What
A
does Kristen Wiig?
suicide.
A suicide. Yeah, and Barb and Star go to Vista Del Mar.
It was-
Best movie of the pandemic.
It was the best movie.
Mhm.
And
A
that soda witch's brew you made me was delicious.
Did you like it?
I really liked
Okay,
it.
good.
Yeah, it was really tasty. It had a lot going on. There was a little citrus.
It was
a
a Diet Pepsi, Sprite, lemonade, raspberry iced tea mix.
It was really good.
Thank you.
Damn.
You're welcome.
Yeah. If I had that in a chicken bite and I'm walking around Costco, that's a nice afternoon.
Yeah. Oh, God. Yeah. Hit that joint in your car. Breeze on into Costco. Don't worry about the lines. Everything's going to be fine if you're just like not in a rush. I think that was key for me. If I ever go to Costco stressed out or needing to exit quickly, I think it would be an absolute nightmare. But I was just strolling around. I wasn't even shopping,
Yeah.
which was great. I think also I need to not go to Costco. Next time I go, I have to have a list, because otherwise it's going to be all impulse buys. Because that water was definitely, I was just stoned and thirsty. And then the guy was like, would you like some water? And I ended up buying water delivery service. So I got to be careful.
It's a good deal.
It is a
Sparklets
good deal.
deal. That's the thing about Costco. I do not like big businesses. I do not like big government. I do not like it, Sam I Am. But Costco felt fair. It felt
Right.
honest. It felt like everything I'm missing in America right now.
Javier, who checked us in at the membership desk, was so nice and jovial and like took our pictures for our cards, and then was like, when we were excited about them, he was just like celebrating with us. And that dude who helped you in the electronics section,
David,
David,
he was like, honestly, this TV is better than this TV, but it's less expensive, but you
Mhm.
should go with this one.
my
Like,
experience with the Sparklets water delivery guy, Henry. See, we know their names. Like, how fucking rare is that you
our
come
buds of the week this week are
Our shout out Henry from Sparklets Water Delivery Service. Who, true, I mean, I have to talk about how much it costs because it seems very reasonable, and I will report back if it is actually a good deal. But $4 a month for the machine that gives hot or cold water on demand.
okay.
$6 a gallon for the jug.
$10.
For like
For a 1-to-1.
It's a 5-gallon jug of water for $6, and the machine is $4. So
For how many months?
it's $4 a month.
Oh no, I'm saying like what's the contract? Like a year?
There's no contract
Oh.
and no cancellation fee,
Oh.
and you can order as much or as little water as you want.
Not an ad,
I
but
feel
god
like it's a
damn.
good deal. I'm looking for the hidden fees. We'll see what happens.
I think it's a great deal.
Yeah, we'll see.
I don't know if the water is good or bad here in LA, but I wouldn't drink
Terrible.
the sky water.
It's
So
fucking anyone you know from New York. Shout out our friend Natasha, who's always talking about the water in LA, because New York tap water is famously incredibly delicious.
is that why everyone uses it for their pizza dough? I
That's
understand
right.
now. Got
And
it.
bagels.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, LA water is trash. So I'm excited to have great, delicious filtered water. Also, if there's like a natural disaster, I'm gonna have a lot of water on hand.
True
And that'll
that.
be great.
Yeah. Also, a new friend in your delivery driver. I hope. I hope it's a cool person.
That's right.
Who you hit it off with.
Henry told me to make friends with my delivery driver, and that the delivery driver would hook me up with samples of other stuff. I was like, oh, like what? Like, will you bring weed to my house?
Molly.
Yeah.
We're candy flipping with Prince Harry and your Sparklets delivery driver.
Great. I'm in. Show up to my house with that kind of treat for me, and you're my friend forever.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, do you want to get to Buzz of the Week this week?
Definitely.
Yeah. What time are we at?
We are.
Oh, we're
perfect
doing
timing.
okay.
Look at this. We did great.
Pro shit, baby.
Yeah.
Do you want to go first or second?
You go first.
Okay. Will do.
Yes.
My bud of the week this week. They've been my bud before, but I don't care. We're going to see them in San Francisco at Sketchfest. They came into LA for New Year's Eve. It is our friend Erika. She came in and kicked it at the Comedy Store. We had a great time. We were going to go get a sandwich the next day, but instead she had to get back to San Francisco. I think she might be moving here, which would be cool because I'd like another friend
to move
in
here
town.
so much. She's so cool.
Yeah, so follow her at Weevilbabe, WeeViBabe. Her name is Erika. And on Instagram, her bio description says, "My gynecologist says I'm stressful." Like, what more do you need? It's mostly dogs. It's the shit. She's awesome. I love you, Erika. And see you soon.
That's so funny. My gynecologist says I'm stressful. She's a delight. When we met her at Outside Lands, I just remember laughing with her the whole night.
It was
we all met when we were all rolling.
Yeah,
I don't know if she was rolling. I wouldn't put that on her, but
I'm gonna put it on her. And then
you and I were,
and then we kept hanging out,
and we were marveling at the fact that Rufus Del Sol was so good.
Have you heard of
like,
them?
Who is this band? They're wonderful. Fucking idiots.
You mean the one that everyone's wearing T-shirts for and is here to see?
Hugely famous. I was like, wow, they're really good.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Oh wow, Glass Animals, like a good band. Oh my god,
Belated.
That was so funny. That whole festival, I was like, "What? These guys are really good." Yeah, they're headlining a massive festival. Of course, they're good. Oh my god. Okay, my bud of the week is Liz at That's Busy on IG, and her podcast Send Us Flowers. She had me on. You can check the episode out. It was such a good time. She's here at the studio. She's one of our buds, and she's just making cool stuff, and her podcast is a blast. And she's doing like interviews with a lot of women, mostly who are in the cannabis space, who are talking about like cool weed recommendations and, you know, how they choose to consume, if it's medicinally, or, you know, they talk a lot about knowledge for endometriosis relief and that kind of stuff. And she's also just a really fun follow on IG because she's making her own glass now.
She's blowing glass?
She's blowing her own glass and making her own glass pieces. So follow her at That's Busy. It's BIZZY on IG, and yeah, check out her pod. Send Us Flowers.
Awesome.
Check out my episode because it's me. I'm my own bud of the week.
Starting the year strong. She really is. She danced herself clean, and she is here.
I did dance myself clean. It felt really fucking good to not be in pain for that moment and realize like this is what I will strive to find more of in 2023, because I think there are always going to be those times that we hurt, but there's also, you know, a possibility of truly feeling at peace.
I think that's a beautiful way to end this episode.
Great.
That's nice. That's really nice.
Yeah.
Well, I'm really glad to be back and doing this another year with you.
Me
this
too.
felt good. I felt like I had a lot of nervous energy.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe we can just give each other some notes and then sign off.
Yeah. Let's critique each other. Well, yeah. We'll sit down after this and be like, I think you should have in this part done this.
Yeah.
That's going to be good energy.
There was a moment where I had strike 3 and I can't remember what it was.
Oh.
But if you're listening to it, you'll know it because I definitely said something and it didn't make sense and Mary Jane moved on. So I did get 3 strikes today.
I missed it. I wonder what it was.
You'll know it when you hear it.
Okay, great.
Awesome.
Follow us on our Instagrams. I'm at thisismaryjane_.
I'm at Glazer Boohoo. We have a backup IG. It's at
Weed and Grub
Pod.
Strangely, that one's not getting flagged at all.
I know. Well, when you're verified, everyone's got eyes on you.
But our main IG is currently at Weed and Grub, and we will look to change the handle when we get it back up if it's reinstituted, which we are hoping for because we want to promote all of the cool stuff we're doing, and we have a great time on there with all of the people who follow us. So hopefully we'll get that back, but otherwise you can check us out on our personal IGs, and please email us at wg@weedandgrub.com if you have ideas for segments that you want to hear, products that you want to hear us talk about, you know, trends, all that kind of stuff. We're just like looking for lots of ways to have a great time on this podcast. So hit us up with ideas.
Hell yes. Bye, everyone.
Bye.